Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Camus. I'm here obviously with Trent from G2 Esports. Just came off of a 2-1 loss. Looked like a pretty close series, to be honest with you. So I just wanted to actually, I wanted to start with kind of like the end of the match. It felt like you guys were in it all the way up until the end. Honestly, until the final round, it looked a little bit strange to watch. It looked like maybe like Lev was able to get into a position you guys weren't ready for. So I just want to ask if you could like walk us through like the actual final round of the game. Like what happened?
I think we recognized their like anchors towards A and the Killjoy and the Viper as the anchors, and they played like that slant angle behind their Viper wall. Like two of them, I think. I think two of them were there, and we honestly just weren't ready for that. We were just expecting like them to be on site, like anchoring it down, and it caught us off guard. And then yeah, just after they get two kills, it's kind of 5v3. They're able to get out, and then it's kind of just rough after that. It's very hard to win the round
Yeah, for
after they
sure.
get
That
two picks.
yeah, that makes it that like gives a lot more insight. Okay, cool. So yeah, because it looked like exactly that. It looked like you guys maybe got caught out a little bit. Um, so I mean, I would say that the consensus overall, and from my own perspective as well, it looked like you guys were pretty good. You seemed like you started to get a lot more comfortable once the second half of like Icebox started. Things kind of like started flipping into your favor momentum wise, and you started like playing pretty well. I wanted to ask, like, obviously it was your map pick, so yeah, I mean, I guess like how much prep are you did you put into? I guess it's like two questions, right? One is that what happened? Like, did you just gain momentum on the second half? And then the second part of the question would be, it felt like you were able to counter Aspis specifically pretty well in Icebox. I don't know if that's part of your guys like anti-stratting or whatever, but it just felt like you were able to shut him down a lot, and then that led you to getting a lot of extra rounds. So yeah, like what was your is that what you're looking to do on Icebox? And how was the momentum once you guys started picking it up?
I think in the first map we had some like uncharacteristic uh mistakes at the very beginning, which led to them like starting the momentum off, and then like towards the end of the map we started like to get our feet back, and then yeah, it was just too big uh of a like round loss. They had too many rounds for us to come back.
Yeah.
And then going into Icebox, yeah, we had a good game plan going in. We kind of knew like what their setups were based off like certain util and certain like agents that we see. And it wasn't
Yeah.
really just like find Osboss, go the other way, or find him and target him with a bunch of util. It was more so just like trying to play our game. We kind of knew like I said, like where they were gonna play and like the spots that they liked. So we had a good game plan going into Icebox, and that's why we were confident in it and why we picked it. Um, and yeah, I think the momentum was just we started like we got our feet on the ground, and at the end of the first half of Icebox, got like a 5-7 or something with a losing pistol, so it's not bad. And then we get onto the attack, which we're way more comfortable with, and so we were able to do way better on the attack. And yeah, I think we were just comfortable on it, and we had a good game plan going in. So it was just after getting the momentum, it just was shifted in our favor.
Yeah, I think you actually got up to 6-6. Um, but yeah, okay, that makes a ton of sense. So you're 2-2 now. Like you're definitely nowhere near performing badly in the league. You're still in the playoff race, not out of it at all. You play MIBR and Loud next. So I guess like they do this thing when I watch a lot of like MMA and UFC and stuff, and they do this thing called like fight math, where it's like this guy beat this guy, so they can beat this guy. So you looked really good against Lev, even though you guys lost. So and you definitely looked more comfortable, like I already said. So is it like the same thing, like fight math? Like now that you guys did well against a good team, or sorry, against one of the best teams in the league, probably the best team in the league currently. You feel pretty confident coming up against MIBR and Loud, since those teams are theoretically like worse teams, I guess, and probably not probably they are not doing as well. So do you feel pretty confident coming into those matchups, and like are you just focusing on one game at a time instead of the whole playoff picture?
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely taking it one game at a time, but you have to look in the future, and we're gonna have to beat MIBR and probably beat Lev or Loud. I mean, so
Yeah.
I mean we definitely have to look at both of them, but we'll take it one game at a time. We really just probably are gonna focus on ourselves more than trying to anti-strat the other team.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, I think we just iron out some of the little details, and we probably could have even beat Lev. So we also had like some individual performances that are uncharacteristic. So like me, Jacob, and I don't know. I didn't really check VLR, but I don't know if Valen did that good or not. But I know me specifically, I didn't play that good. I don't know. I don't know. Something felt off, and that's just how it is sometimes. But definitely going to work on that. And I think if we were hitting more shots, some of the stuff that catches you off guard, you win those rounds by hitting the shots, and we just weren't doing that. So I mean, I think we'll be fine going into MIBR and Loud. We just gotta make sure we're hitting our shots and make sure our team plays good, and I think we'll be good.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
for sure. And yeah, just real quick about your performance as well, like your numbers. Like you mentioned, they were a little bit lower than normal. Um, but like on average so far in your matches, you've done pretty well overall in the league. You're statistically pretty highly rated. I think before this you were in the top 10. This game now puts you like at like 16 or 17 or something. I haven't checked right this second, but I checked right when the game ended, so it was something around that. So it's not like you're playing bad overall. So I mean, everybody has an off map off game. Do you feel like this was a combination of like people playing off, and then also Lev is obviously insane.
Yeah,
Um,
I
so
think that definitely was. I think we had a couple players with off games and
yeah,
our off series, and it just came down to at the end of the day, if we were playing better, then changes a lot, changes everything almost. So even if the strategy wasn't there, you hit the shots, but it's just how it is.
yeah,
Some days aren't.
yeah, of course. And then I guess shifting away from the series a little bit, shifting away from the playoff stuff a little bit. I just want to talk about like playing against your teammate that you ascended with. Like, does that feel weird at all, or is it just a match
Uh,
for you? It's kind of whatever.
I mean, it's cool. Like, I'm still good friends with him, and we talk a lot. But um, I mean, it's just like friendly banter. You're just playing against some friends, so it's always gonna be a good match when you're playing against your friends.
Awesome. And I just have a couple more things for you. Basically, I just wanted to kind of talk to you about how I mean you're not unfamiliar with the T1 scene at all. In fact, like a couple years ago, you won a challengers. Like you got you won a challengers, got top two at the qualifier, and then you went to masters. I think it was top two. And then yeah, so after that, obviously all the nonsense happened, and then you went on a pretty insane run. You're one of the few players who have made the full run. You've played in challengers, you won it, you won Ascension, you're in the league. So I wanted to ask you, one, what's it like being like super talked about in tier two and like knowing that you're really good and ready to play tier one and like kind of like being in this like lull period, the period between when you're competing to get into the league and finally in the league. And then what's it like what did you feel like after making that run? You've probably answered this before, but I haven't talked to you about it and I would love to. Basically just what's it feel like making that full run and knowing you got all the way from, what I guess I don't want to say nothing, but like from nothing to the pro scene, like you did the actual grind. You did the grind that everybody says is the hard route, and you made it in that way. So,
Mhm.
it's pretty good accomplishment. I just wanted to see like, yeah, how does that feel?
Definitely feels good. It feels like um, I'm supposed to be here. Like I've shown to everyone, the tier two. Obviously, uh, me and my team were too good to be in the tier two if we're winning it. So it definitely proves that we're supposed to be in the tier one league. And yeah, I mean, being talked about is pretty cool, but at the end of the day, it's about winning. So if we're not going to be winning,
Yep.
what's there to be talked about? So um, just got to keep our head down, not really look at the social media as much, and just make sure we can play our game and make sure we're held up to a certain standard. And really, all we can do. I try not to look at social media as much and trying
Yeah.
to focus on my own play. I don't want to get distracted. And yeah, yeah, that's kind of it. Just trying to play my game.
Oh yeah, I mean that makes a ton of sense. Yeah, it seems like you have a pretty good head on your shoulders. Like you have a good mindset about it. Yeah, I mean I don't really have a ton more. I guess other than that, the only thing I would ask you is how much of a difference is the grind, like the day to day of waking up and playing in tier two versus waking up and going to the studio and playing in LA? Is it a big shift?
Uh, well, to be honest, when we were with the guard, we kind of were doing the same thing. We had a facility and we were all moved out here because
True.
we were we were with the guard before all of the franchise and
Yeah.
challenges all things. So we were doing that before, and so it just
Yep.
continued to do that. We were already living in LA. We were already playing at a facility. We were already doing all that. But I
Okay.
mean, lifestyle is pretty similar. We start practice at like 10:30 or 11, and we don't finish till like 6, 7 sometimes. And it's just how it is. It's a normal work day, and you got to put the hours in to be good. So we practice, and then you go home and you practice on your own. You got to have a good mindset when you're practicing, and then really hone down on the little details. And then when you're not practicing, you practice on yourself. So with the team, like I go home, I play ranked or I'll deathmatch or I'll TDM, and I'll just try to focus on my aim. And then in
For
practice,
sure.
you focus on your team play, you focus on your comms, you focus on understanding the game, all that. So it's a balance that you have to have. It's definitely a lot of hours. My girlfriend doesn't like it, but it's how it is.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And also, yeah, I mean, I guess you said that like you were kind of used to it and stuff. So I guess it is a big advantage. That's kind of what I meant before by the nonsense, by the way, is like you having a not playing franchise and then play. But yeah, exactly. Like you're pretty used to the system. So that's an interesting perspective. I actually didn't even consider that. I did know it, but yeah. So you're pretty honed in. Like you've been like a semi pro for like a year, like if that makes sense. Awesome, man. I appreciate your time a ton. That's pretty much all I got for you today. I'm sure I'll be talking to you again in the future, hopefully after a win. So that's it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Later, brother. Thank you. Please will finally meet you.
Have a good rest of your
Peace,
day.
dog.